And as always, it's so very good to see you, Hidden Nation. Welcome right into the studio. It's Josh Cary. It's your hidden entrepreneur. Hidden Nation, today we are talking about the topic of healthcare. By no doubt, you certainly experience this on multiple levels throughout your life, but how do you feel about it? And today we're diving into healthcare operational efficiency. Wouldn't you like the whole process on some foundation to be more efficient? Well, our guest today has this very conversation for us. We're joined by Sam Yeruva, who is the founder and CEO of Pycube. Sam, good to have you on the program today.
Josh, nice to be here. Thanks for inviting me, and pleasure seeing you again.
Likewise. Let's talk about Pycube. Help Hidden Nation understand the exact problem you're solving.
Well, the exact problem we are solving is with the health systems. We all have a problem understanding why is healthcare so expensive. I say it's because it's complicated. And I say there are a lot of moving pieces, and we have a lot of talented, experienced, very mature, highly skilled labor coming together to help people's lives, save lives. When that happens, a lot of things move, and hospitals become very complicated around. So we actually provide technology and innovate business models to make it easy for the health systems to operate better, see what is happening throughout their health systems. They are very complicated systems running around.
Sure.
And we provide technology enterprise-wide within health systems to cut down the cost, bring back the money where they're supposed to be spent, which is patient care, and save lives, instead of spending it on a unnecessary wastage that happens sometimes in healthcare. So that's what we cut down.
Very, very admirable. From the, let's say, the user point of view, right? Somebody
Yeah.
who is going in as a patient to these hospitals that you help, where do we see the benefit? How does it help us?
So, yeah, that's a very good question. So what happens, if I close my eyes for a normal user, before I got into the healthcare, the only piece I would remember is a clinic that I go in and my engagement with a nurse or a provider. Or if I go to a hospital when my friends have babies, or, if some kid is sick or whatnot, I see a patient bed and then, calm, quiet area and whatnot. But what happens there is, when a patient is admitted, there are a lot of pieces. I don't know if you noticed, next to the bed, there are so many machines,
Okay.
right? There is a pump, there is a monitor, there could be thousands of dollars just sitting there. They are not found at the right time. And when it's critical and you don't find it, it might be a difference. It's a lag of patient care, right? So suddenly they don't find it. They need the right equipment for the right thing. If there is a patient who's in critical condition, those are the areas where you have a problem with. And you don't want to be in that position where you're coming into a hospital and I can't find the right machine to help you out. There is also areas where, if we go into the hospital and the doctor sees, hey, Josh, there is a problem with you, and let me see if this is cancerous. Maybe this is cancer. I need to test it out, right? They send out these samples to the pathology lab. They get tested to see what is your condition and whatnot. Sometimes because of the chaos in the health system, they get lost. And you're like, I don't have any more of that sample to actually get tested. Now I don't know what to test you on and how do you treat. And things happen that way. And there are situations where, there is a patient waiting for a long period of time for a kidney replacement, or a liver replacement, or some kind of, a critical environment where you're waiting for a long time for something. And when you have that particular, organ being delivered to you, it's not positioned in the right place, and it becomes unusable by a clinical leader to put it in you. There are many things that happen. These are all inefficiencies that happen.
Yeah.
There are some patients actually put in a expired pacemaker. You don't want that in your body. So
No.
those are the areas where actually how does the workflow work? Where are you missing? How about making the entire thing digitized so that you know it's like Uber Eats, right? I give the example of Uber Eats, making it not an analogy that I want to bring up in a critical environment like healthcare, but what if I know exactly when the food was picked up, when it's coming in? How do I improve the experience of the entire area? And that's what we are trying to solve, and help the health systems digitize these workflows, help the patient not to have these kind of experiences at the health system. And this is how we are trying to make sure the patients get the best care they can when they go to the health systems.
How did we get here?
We there are many pieces. I think there are many pieces, right? Health systems, when they started off, they were a religious community trying to help out patients in a better way. 200 years back, they were nothing but a Catholic or a Jewish hospital, or they would call a place of treatment. When people come in, they would be built for a community to be treated. We came a long way in the last 20, 30 years. Genomics came along, a lot of drugs, a lot of research in drugs, biotech. Example I'll give you, there were only 5 instruments right next to the bed about a couple of decades back. Today, there are about 30 instruments right next to the bed. That means there are many more, which actually precisely help you to save life. And we were
Mm.
losing lives a couple of decades back.
Wow.
Things are advancing. Now you need more tools. I know that I can save your life. America's health system is the best world class. That means it's not just a doctor, but also the tools and technology they
Sure.
use to actually help. When things are getting connected, more tools are available, more pharmacies, more tests are happening. We didn't have tests about 3 decades back. Now you have so many tests. Oh, you have this disease? I have a test for that. And you test
Mm.
it and then give a therapeutic for that. It's getting more complicated. You're able to save more life. The average life of people were about 50 years, a couple of decades back. Now it's 75 or something here in America. So as we are living longer, the reason being of this technology innovations and people getting trained on these, it's getting more and more complex. How do
Mhm.
you connect them all together? How do you make sure the sample we pick up from Josh or any other patient is reached? Because the sample, the collection, the things got so complicated from a volume perspective. More and people are getting older. More
Mm.
and more people are getting into the hospitals.
Wow, that's a good
More
point.
and more samples are being tested. Do you have enough nurses to take care of all of them? No, America does not. And then it's an amalgamation of
Yeah.
people, more technology, more training required, more patients coming in. Everyone wants to have everything preventative. Um, it's good,
Yeah.
but it creates challenges, and that's how we got
Yeah,
in
the
my view.
word, yeah, from the outside looking in, from the layperson, right? I say the patient, the user, so to speak. From our experience, there always, whenever there's a block, which seems often in the process, we always blame and go back to the insurance company, right? They seem to be the red tape and causing the problem. From your point of view, are they ever a factor?
Well, I say insurance as a function in our community is a facilitator of treatment. But obviously, we criticize people who control purse strings. So again, my humble opinion, you remove insurance from it, you will see a lot more problems. Now, at least I don't have to worry. So right now, the way I look at it is the provider is sometimes not blamed, the payer is blamed. Payer in sense, in this case, I'm saying the insurer.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the insurance companies, all bad people because they hold the purse strings. Whoever holds the purse strings, you are going to blame them. But I think as a function of healthcare, insurance brings some subtlety in not yelling at your doctor, but yelling at the provider when you're in an emotional situation.
Yeah.
I don't think, yes, it is a complicated. Oh, that's a completely different thing. Obviously, it's money flowing, and why should I pay you for this amount of money? Why should I not pay for this? There is always going to be there, but insurance has a big play in stabilizing the healthcare market. I don't see them as bad guys. I see them as guys who can be better. But definitely, I don't think they are a facilitator for where we are today. If we didn't have insurance, I don't think we would have seen the development we've seen today because
Hmm.
they have stabilized the market. They've made everything come together as a economy, as a healthcare economy. Today, um, America has 26 trillion economy GDP, 25, $26 trillion, and $5 trillion is because of healthcare.
Hmm.
That's a big chunk. And amalgamating that big chunk, insurance, I think, plays a big part of it.
As the founder CEO of Pycube, as you continue to do what you're doing well and successfully, what does the next landscape of a job well done look like from
Uh,
outside looking in? What are we seeing
so,
now?
see, job well done. So I think there are, for me, and how we are looking at the market. Obviously, there are the costs have to come down. The cost of healthcare hospitals. I know there are about. I'll give you a stat. There are about 650 health systems in US. Okay, there are about 6,000 hospitals. When I say health system, one or more hospital combined together is a health system,
Okay.
right? So there are 6,000 hospitals in America, but they all work together and there are 650 health systems. Now, not about 55% of them are in loss and 45% are in profit. That means more than 50%
No. Right.
not yeah. But 90% of the health systems are non-profit. That means they are working for not profits. They are working for the people. They are basically working as non-profits. Now that is a good or a bad thing. I don't know. So what happens is you're not making profit, but you're working for the local communities. But the costs are going up. More and more people are coming to me. How do I serve my community? That's a pressure that health systems are facing, right? The only way you can, whenever a system or a function or a market or a vertical has a problem, you adopt technology, you train people in a different way, you adopt and see if you can cut down the costs. If you, my bottom line is low, that means I'm in negative. Then I apply technology, cut costs wherever I can to bring it back to a positive way so that you're healthily managing the global community. I don't let you fail because you're managing the local community. So I think when with AI, I see tremendous opportunities in able to actually improve efficiencies in this area, right? But hospitals have been, these are old institutions that have legacy workflows and regulated mechanisms. How do you bring change and how do you digitize these workflows to make it easy for them to see where the problem is happening and how do you cut down the cost, right? So I think my job well done is when I prepare these health systems to be ready for AI and able to deploy technology to cut down that additional waste. If there is a 10% waste and I'm at a 1% loss, if I bring down 5% waste down, then I'm at a 4% profit. Then I can invest money in where I'm supposed to do it. And I can, start taking care of my community in a better, healthy way rather than getting stressed out, not able to hire nurses and those kind of things. So that will be a job well done for me if I prepare health systems to be ready for tomorrow's AI. In my view, PyCube's view, that would be the job done well for me because everything else, they are very good at it. They just need the tools to be ready with the technology of today.
We're talking about what I'm hearing is we're talking about on one level profits,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
a they need to make money so they could afford the doctors, the nurses, the equipment.
Yeah.
And then we're talking about efficiency.
Yeah.
Are both of those things in the best interest of the people in the hospital, like the nurses, and do they and doctors? Do they care? Sure, they might care about efficiencies, but are they thinking if it's not broke, don't fix it? Let me just continue doing what I'm doing. And I don't really have the time or the interest to worry about profits. That's not my problem.
Well, they should care. The reason being, if I'll give an example. If I, as an individual, stressed out about my money not being in the bank, I take some decisions that are not in the best interest of my long-term care, right? So, in my own view, um, uh, hospital is it's a service industry,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's just a bottom line. It's like a hotel.
Yeah,
To give a better analogy of it,
sure.
if it's a hotel, I think it is the most expensive hotel that you can get. And the hotels in the urban areas, in this case hospitals, are all full, and hotels in the rural areas are all empty because
Hmm.
the scarce. Now, should we run it as a business and remove the hotels from rural areas? Then I'm not treating my grandma who's sitting in my village. Um, all right, should I add more hotels in the urban area? It's not easy, it's not cheap, it's expensive. Maybe more people are coming to the hotels in the urban areas. So that's the analogy. Profit and loss does matter for everyone. And for me, if my mother or my daughter, um, depending on where they are, I need best health care in that area. I can't let them go down. What is the best way of running your business? Non-profit, profit, doesn't matter. So that they survive and I have the option. It's a right for us, right? Healthcare is a right. I would like to have better options for me and my family. So it is in our best interest to make sure these are running efficiently. No amount of stress in these hospitals, urban or rural areas, is a good thing for America
True.
because I will be affected in some way, shape, or form. And where are they getting stressed out is on the payer side, where you're saying payer side. Um, if I do a treatment for about, let's say, $10,000, imagine a business, I'll explain it in a business way. If I have a product of $10,000 and I'm selling it at a $7,000, obviously I'm making a loss. Imagine the hospital healthcare system that if there's a procedure in a rural area, because I don't have people, I have to perform it and my cost is about 12,000, but the insurance only pays me about 7,000. I am at a loss. And do you really want to do that? No. Maybe I give them the technology so that the cost comes down to 7,000 and they get paid, at least break even.
Yeah.
That is the whole piece of the entire thing.
Yeah.
If you run the business properly, and if you give them the right tools, sometimes they don't have accessible tools, technologies available. My feeling is you just have to use common sense and give them the right technology in the right places, and they're smart enough. If a smart person is given the right tools and the right guidance, I think things will fall back into place. That's
Talking
that's a
about,
hope.
yeah, talking about the right tools, let's talk about AI specifically. Do we want AI in our healthcare system?
I that's a very good question that people keep asking me. Oh, you don't want to use AI in wrong places. I believe in this. AI, a human brain has unlocked the potential of all the inventions till now. Right? Imagine a human brain like yours and mine has unlocked the potential so far. And AI is a clone of me in a way. It's an artificial intelligence. It's not up to my brain yet, but it is smarter than me and you combined. But it is still taking our guidance. And now you have a potential to improve the technology and the life of people longer. Now, is it safer to use it is a question I think you're asking in a way, without asking
Sure.
the right question. It is safe. It's how you use it. It's where you use it. And I don't think I think we should use every tool at our disposal to make sure the lives have. We have to keep moving forward. Um, I'll give you an example. About 1920s, 1910s, when electricity came in, there was a new set of C-suite that came in. He was called a CEO, I think, Chief Electrical Officer. His job was to actually put in lights in all the industries and homes because there it was a big thing back then. That's the disruptive innovation that the
Sure.
question asked people asked is, do I need electricity because I heard that it's going to burn my house?
Right.
I'm like, yeah, as if kerosene is not going to burn your house.
Exactly.
But
They
we
can't
are a
be.
long way for that. When computers came in, mainframes came in, the question was, do I really want a computer in my thing? Because, oh, I think they're going to mess it up. Now, I think even my kid is using a phone which is more powerful than my 6-year-old kid is still using it. The phones came in. Oh, now people are going to expect me to talk all the time. And, back in the day, even just imagine about 2 decades back, 2, 3 decades back, you could not call your parents. And the daughter goes out, she could not call back the parents till she chooses to call them back. Today, they have apps, they're tracking them
Yeah,
everywhere. Is it good? I think it's good. The technology does make us better, more connected.
that's right.
Um, is it going to have its problems initially? Yes. But should we actually move away from it now? I think AI, I'm very bullish about it. It is here to stay.
Mhm.
It is going to improve our lives. Are we going to struggle as human beings to see how we can actually position it in the right place? Yeah, mostly. But are we going to survive and thrive? Yeah. We are going to be, it is going to be part of it. There's no way you can actually pull it off. Too much investment made, too much good can be looked at from it. There are some bad pieces to it that are people marketing. It'll go away, in my view.
Wonderful. Sam Yeruva, the founder and CEO of Pycube. Sam, talk to the listener as we go about our day. What do we need to know?
Um, from a healthcare perspective, I think uh, there are newer ways. There are newer companies that are coming out. We being part of them. There are interesting companies coming out, and we are learning from how the market is changing today. What I would say to your audience is check us out. We are a new set of breed of companies that are coming out, which play in a different area in the healthcare market, obviously. We are definitely disrupting, innovating in a different way, and innovating, coming up with innovative business models in this area. Second thing, we are PyCube is coming up with ubiquitous pain problems, the problems that we're not tackling the newer problems of the world. We are questioning why are the old problems not being solved. We are looking at health systems and looking at why is the blood still being contaminated, and you'll be surprised why is the blood still being contaminated and why are people still getting sepsis? Is there a way you can solve it easily comparatively? Why are a simple thing like a liver or a kidney not being used when so many people are standing in line for an operation? Is there any way you can actually cut that in half? Why is a common thing like an asset that is moving around in a hospital not being available at the right time? Is there any way we can learn from the market and do it? So you look at the problems that have been existing for a long time, and we are hoping that health systems will get more efficient. And anyone who is looking for newer innovations and newer way of looking at this model, definitely check us out. And we keep updating our blogs and we keep updating our things, and we keep learning from our market as well. So it's not a single. We don't invent, we innovate. So obviously we look at people what they're doing in the market and try to see how we can bring to the healthcare. So it's all fun and new stuff. And how can AI be? I have some blog posts that are coming up on how can AI be used in healthcare as well. So that'll be new stuff that is coming in. If kids are looking at it, it'll be a new thing. If CEOs and inventors are looking at it, it's a new way of looking at how can you innovate in healthcare market if you're healthcare specifically. But it's not healthcare alone. Technology can be adopted anywhere. So those kind of newer ideas, if you can collaborate, that'll be great. If anyone is interested, we can have a chat as well, because we are always we're an open mind and learning from the market. So and AI is going to be here. So definitely we are bullish and want to collaborate with people who wanted to get into this market and frustrated and passionate about healthcare as well.
Wonderful, Sam. I used the word before, admirable. I really appreciate you leading this charge, and I can see the passion and the interest and the authenticity to continue to do good. I'm glad you're on the front lines. Thanks for joining the program, Sam. Appreciate you.
Thank you, Josh.